Hello, this is Stuart Presser with Greater New York Hospital Association, and I'd like to welcome you to this portion of the Regional RAC Summit for RAC Region A. We're going to discuss, on slide 2, we're going to discuss navigating Medicare remittances with respect to the RAC adjustments, current issues for hospitals paid under the Medicare Periodic Payment System, PIP, Medicare demand letters for RAC adjustments, Medicare's process for issuing provider refunds, and administrative law judge decisions change in patient status from inpatient to outpatient. As you are aware, the RAC program focuses on retrospective reviews of paid claims. Therefore, adjustments to RAC-denied cases involve payments that may have been made up to 3 years prior to the current date. The first entry that is made on a remittance when there is a RAC denial is a claim level entry on the 835 electronic remittance, which sets up the amount owed to the Medicare program. The entry will either be by a complete reversal of the previous paid claim or a negative entry for only the amount of the adjustment that is, as in the case of a DRG down code in which the hospital is to receive less money. As an example, the hospital was originally paid $10,000 and the RAC found $5,000 to be the correct payment. Therefore, $5,000 is taken back. This claim level entry will have a remark code of N432 to indicate it is based on a RAC denial. At this time, Medicare is not really taking the money back from the provider. Under Section 935 of the Medicare Modernization Act of 2003, MMA, providers may appeal a denial within 30 days of notification of intent to recoup funds. Therefore, Medicare is just notifying you of the intent to take back funds. Looking at the remittance at the claim level would indicate a recoupment of $5,000, as in the previous example. But if you review the summary section of the remittance, known as the PLB section, you will notice that there is a positive adjustment of $5,000 to give back the money to the hospital. This makes the remittance balance so that the cash transmitted via the electronic funds transfer balances with the 835 remittance. According to Section 935, a provider has a few options with respect to Medicare recoupment. Providers may do an immediate voluntary recoupment or submit an appeal within 30 days of the demand letter, which stops the interest clock. You may also do a voluntary recoupment and then take up to 120 days to submit your appeal. You can do nothing, and Medicare will automatically recoup payment at day 41 from the demand letter date and also charge interest from the demand letter date. And you can still appeal your denial within 120 days of the demand letter. Let's move on to what happens when Medicare actually takes back the payment. As I mentioned before, based on several options available, the day will come when you actually give up the cash and Medicare takes back the overpayment. So how does this really work? The 835 remittance will only have an entry at the summary level, not at the claim level as in the previous example. So you lose the detail that you saw in the initial claim level adjustment. Now in the PLB section, there will be a reduction in the amount of claims Medicare is recouping. The dollar amount will represent all of the claims that are being recouped on that specific remittance. Additional detail in the form of patient information will be provided to give the hospital the claim detail, mainly the amount, identification of the patient, so that you can reconcile the remittance to the EFT payment. Unfortunately, this is not the ideal way for Medicare to reflect payment reduction. We hope improvements will be made to show claim level detail in the future, just as the initial entry was. Okay, hospitals paid under the Medicare Periodic Interim Payment System started receiving RAC audits in February of 2012. At this point in time, the only thing that's happening with PIP hospitals is that the RAC is submitting ADR requests to the hospitals are submitting records, and the hospitals are getting results review letters. There was a glitch in the Medicare claims system